In this section, we're going to take the next step to developing our application. We want to allow users to upload music to share with others on the application. Uploading files is a shared responsibility between the client and the server. It's important we take the time to understand what each side is responsible for. Our job as front-end developers is to send the file to the server. The server is what takes care of the majority of the work. The server takes care of validating the upload by checking the file type. It is possible to spoof file extensions, so being able to check for this is important. The server will also take care of uploading the file to the correct directory, storing it in a location purposely meant for uploads only. File permissions are another job for servers. It's an optional step but recommended. Some files should be limited to a few select authorized users. Lastly, the server is responsible for creating the API that the client can use to upload files. The client is what will take care of presenting the file to the user. This can be in the form of an image, direct link, or in our case, a music player. We're using Firebase for our backend. Fortunately, it comes with everything we'll need to handle file uploads. This service will save us a lot of time. Uploading files with JavaScript is completely optional. Here's an example of how you can perform file submission with pure HTML. There are 3 requirements for submitting a file with HTML. The encoding type must be set to multipart. There needs to be an input with the type of file. Lastly, the forms action needs to be set to the URL where the file will be submitted to. There are additional attributes you can set, but those are optional. From there, the browser will take care of the rest. No JavaScript is necessary. For this course, we will be handling the form submission with JavaScript. It'll allow us to handle the user experience and prevent the page from refreshing. We'll even be able to handle multiple file uploads at once. Switching over to our app, the UI is very different from the pure HTML solution. On the left, we have a drop zone where the user can drag and drop files. If files are dropped on the box, it'll initiate the upload process. Under the drop zone are progress bars to let the user know the status of their upload. It's a more complex solution, but nothing that we won't be able to handle. I'll walk you through every step of setting this up. Alternatively, we may need to provide a more basic solution because not every user can drag and drop. Backward compatibility is something we should consider. I'll show you how to deal with that in this section. Firebase is our solution for a backend. We've used it for storing the user's data so far. It comes with a feature called Cloud Storage. This solution is the service that provides hosting for user-generated content. We're going to use it to store the user's file uploads. We'll revisit it later in this section. In this lecture, we're going to start by preparing the component. We're going to be writing a lot of code for uploading files. It would be a good idea to separate this logic into a separate component. Let's open the Manage component in our editor. The upload UI is inside the Manage component file. The static template comes with 2 columns. I've folded most of the code so it can be easier to focus on the columns. You can find the columns by searching for the div tags with the classes call_span1 and call_span2. The HTML for the upload UI is in the first column. We're going to move the contents of this element into a separate component. There's a lot of markup inside, so it makes sense to separate it from the Manage component. It'll make things a whole lot cleaner. First, we'll create the component. Inside the Components directory, create a file called upload.vue. Scaffold the file with the template and script blocks. In the exported object, we're going to assign the component a name. We'll call it upload. The next step is to copy the template. Go back to the Manage component file. Inside the div element with the class call_span1, cut and paste the entire element from the Manage component to the Upload component. The last step is to import and register the component. We're going to register it locally because it's going to be used once. We don't need it to be globally available. Back in the Manage component, import the Upload component. I'm calling the component App Upload. This name is to prevent any conflicts with existing HTML elements or components registered by third-party libraries. In the exported object, define the components property with the App Upload component registered as one of the components. Lastly, insert the App Upload component into the first column. This location is where we previously cut the HTML for the Upload component. Let's view the Manage page in the browser. Everything will look the same as before. To verify the HTML is stored in the component, we can use the View Developer tools to check the hierarchy of components. The App Upload component is nested inside the Manage component. It'll even be highlighted inside the browser if you hover your mouse over the component name. That'll do it for now. In the next lecture, we'll begin wiring in the logic for the component.